One of the most frustrating things you can go through as a clothing brand owner is spending hours making a clothing brand and then spending hours making a design for your clothing brand and then going through the sampling process, which can take weeks and weeks on end. And then when you finally get your sample of your design, you spend weeks and weeks promoting it. And then when it's finally time to come and drop, you're all hyped up, you get no or little sales. This is very frustrating and very soul and ego crushing for any clothing brand owner. And I've seen it happen to so many clothing brand owners. And I've even helped many clothing brand owners get over this exact hurdle. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to be telling you why your clothing brand isn't getting sales and how exactly you can fix this. So I'm not going to waste any of your time. Let's just hop straight into the teaching. So this is just proof I know what I'm talking about. I've helped many clothing brand owners make thousands and thousands of dollars just within the past 90 days. I've helped this clothing brand owner make $71,000 with this brand, $37,000, $33,000, $43,000 right here. Like, I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to clothing brands. And for those of you that know and have seen me before, you know I own my own clothing brand and I've been mildly successful with it. So again, I know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss the first thing you should be worried about, and that is going to be your product. Your product for your clothing brand is dang near the base for your entire brand. Think of your clothing brand like a building. Up here, you have, your website, content, marketing, but down here at the very base of it all, you have your product. If your product is bad, it just makes everything up here shaky and not as good. It just makes everything significantly harder. And if your brand isn't getting sales, this is typically the first thing I look at, because a lot of clothing brands, they just have terrible products. They have bad products, but they feel entitled to sales because of their ego or because they spend hours and hours and hours on a design. Listen, guys, it doesn't matter how many hours you spend on the design. If the design is terrible, it shouldn't matter. The product is just objectively bad. And a lot of brand owners need to understand this. They need to put their ego aside and really take a look at their product and wonder why they're not getting sales. A lot of brands also drop a lot of mid products that are okay. They're okay. They're not bad quality, but they're not particularly anything special. They don't stand out. There's nothing unique about it, and they don't have really any use besides, just being a cool product that you can buy to support the brand. Listen, guys, the better you make your product, the easier the marketing and sales will come. This should be common knowledge, but a lot of brand owners just don't see it. They let their ego get in the way. But listen, if you have an objectively good product, you almost don't even have to work as hard marketing because it will just market itself. So here I have three tiers of products. I have bad product, mid product, and good product. I'm going to be explaining my reasoning behind each tier. So a bad product is just, well, it's kind of self-explanatory. This is just a bad product. It has a bad design. It has bad quality. It's just overall bad. It doesn't matter how much you market it. No one is really going to buy it. You would literally have to get someone like Drake in this product for it to get any sales. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. You can make some crazy TikToks and people are just not going to feel it because it's a bad product. So some bad products are just like something like this. It's just bad to look at. This is just my objective opinion, but like, to me, this product is just terrible. And then another thing is print on demand. Another reason I don't like print on demand is because a lot of these print on demand companies have bad quality. They make your profit margins just absolutely terrible because of their fees and tax and whatever. So it's just bad in general. So I would recommend staying away from print on demand and just get some actual, cut and sew printed garments from an actual trusted manufacturer. So that is just my opinion on a bad product. This is something, no matter how much marketing or whatever you put behind it or money you put behind it, it's just not going to sell, or it's going to be very hard to sell. Now, when I say a mid product, that does not mean this product is bad. It just means this product is going to need a lot more work to sell, or you need to have an established brand to sell it. Now, this is where a lot of brands go wrong. A lot of brand in the beginning stages, they want to drop products like this, but what they don't understand is a lot of these products have already been made and they have tons of competition from these big brands. Big brands are able to drop products like this that are more simpler because they have louder products, they have more complex products, they have, their designs, their winning designs that are selling and are able to fund this and sell this down to their customers. You cannot drop something like this if this is your only design. You need to make something like this. You need to make something like this before you're able to sell something like this, if that makes sense. You need to have your complex products speak for you so you're able to downsell more simpler products. And that is where a lot of beginning clothing brand owners go wrong, because they just want to drop simple products, even though there's tons of competition and other brands doing it. No one is going to buy these simple products until you have a more established brand and you're able to make some crazy products like this, if possible. Again, this is just part of the simple mid products right here. A lot of brand, they want to make tracksuits or whatever. But like I said earlier, you need to have, a brand lifestyle or like other brand products that are able to speak for your brand before you're able to drop more simpler products like this. Again, This is where I see a lot of brand owners go wrong. They just want to drop the simple products without proving themselves, whether through their unique marketing or unique products. That is what you need to sell these simpler products. You either need a unique marketing point or you just need products that speak for themselves and are able to show your brand quality and uniqueness. Now, let me just erase all this. A good product is exactly what you want to be making for your clothing brand consistently. This is a product that can literally sell itself. You can literally post an image of this online and people are going to be flocking to it because it is unique and they can't find it anywhere else. That is the big difference between a mid product and a good product. These pants I can find literally anywhere else. I can probably Google faded jeans and I will find hundreds and hundreds of brands that are making jeans just like this without the logo on there. But if I want something like this, I'm not going to find this anywhere else. I know maybe two brands that make jeans like this. I'm not going to find this anywhere, and that's what makes this highly sought after. Customers are going to be willing to pay any price to get these jeans right here because they know nobody else is making these jeans. So you need to be able to make good products that are unique and that only your brand has the ability to sell. Again, this jacket is another example. There are hoodies that are similar to this hoodie right here, but they're not on a uniqueness level similar to this. Like this hoodie literally has a bunch of hardware. It has unique zipper pockets. It has like a buckle. It has a belt right here. It has zipper pockets. Like it has so many intricate details. You're not going to be finding this in like some H&M store. You're not going to be finding this in some I don't know, PacSun store. You're not going to be finding any of these pieces right here in some PacSun store. These pieces right here, I could probably find it going into like the nearest mall near me, most likely. But these products right here, these are unique and offer a unique position for their clothing brand. So that is just my point that you want to make products that are closer to this, and you do not want to be making products that are like this. This will highly, highly, highly boost your clothing brand up because the more unique products you make, the more engagement you're going to get on your socials, the easier marketing is going to be. So remember me saying this, that the more good a product is, the easier the marketing is because it'll be able to market itself. Now, here are some questions you should ask yourself before sampling a product. Does this product fit your target audience? You do not want to be the brand flip-flopping between aesthetics and driving your target audience away because they don't know if they can rely on you to consistently drop the clothes they actually want to buy. So you need to make sure your products are fitting your target audience. Now, you also need to make sure your products are something you can see complete strangers going out of their way to buy, which brings me to my last point. These are products complete strangers will go out of their way to buy. Whereas these products right here, they'll walk in and see your brand. They're like, okay, this is cool, but I can see brand B having this exact same product with their logo and it's $10 cheaper. So again, that you just need to make products that complete strangers are going out of their way to buy, or at least make products that complete strangers will support you with. They see stuff like this from your brand and they'll buy something like this from your brand again because they support that you're making stuff like this, if that makes sense. And then you also need to make sure that before you're sampling a design, you need to make sure that you know that this product is different than other brands in your niche. What makes this product different? That is super important because standing out again as a clothing brand is becoming harder. So you need to find unique ways to stand out with your clothing brand. And you also need to make sure your design slash product will last your customer multiple years and will satisfy the customer. Listen, we do not want to be a fast fashion brand with products that last like 2 months. You need to make sure that your design is good quality and it's timeless. A timeless design is so important. Yes, chasing trends is so cool and all, and it can make you a lot of money. But at the end of the day, we want to be making designs that we can sell year after year after year after year. Designs that people love and always request, year after year after year, because this is so important. This is what brands are built off. Every brand has that one design and they can just sell over and over and over because it is just a classic. It is just timeless. It's just a garment that people will always want in their closet. So you need to make sure that you're designing timeless pieces to your best of your ability. And also, the last question I think you should ask yourself is if you can see yourself redropping this product slash scaling this product. Listen, I'm all for exclusivity. And, if you want to keep a product exclusive and you're never redropping it again, okay, that's cool. As long as it's a good product and it can sell, by all means, do that. But for my other clothing brands that plan on redropping, make sure this is a product you can actually redrop and actually scale in the future. Make a scalable product. This is so important. I think the product is probably one of the most important parts of a clothing brand. Every clothing brand, I would say 90% of clothing brands I see that can't get sales at all, it just comes down to a product issue. And when it's not a product issue, it is a content issue. Some brands have, pretty cool pieces, pretty decent pieces that are sellable, but they just cannot market for the life of them. They keep spamming 200 view TikTok slideshows and they think it's marketing. They post 5 of them a day. How am I not getting sales? I'm posting these slideshows. 200 people are seeing them. I don't know why they're not engaging or whatever. buddy, you need to make sure you are switching up your content. You need to make sure you're testing multiple angles. I talk about this in literally almost every video I make when I discuss content, but you need to make sure you're not making gimmicky videos and you're making some actual content. Making videos like to get a free garment, the comment with no likes gets a free hoodie. That is not brand content. That is not real marketing. You don't see any actual clothing brands, that are up there doing this type of content. You don't see like Nike doing this. You don't see like more luxury brands. I don't know, like I would say like No Face Studios. You don't see them making this type of content. You need to be making actual content like flat lays, on body content, voiceovers, lookbooks. Like I really appreciate lookbooks because they give your brand aesthetic and you can show your brand aesthetics to your target customers. But like you need to be switching up your content and making it more professional, making it more thought out, so you're actually able to convert people from your ads or your actual organic content. Like I said, learn how to make actual good content. Use hooks that are proven to work. Use good lighting, good pacing. Use proven ideas that are proven to get views. And good brands have mastered the art of selling a feeling. I'm gonna use Trickle as a example here, but Trickle, they sell the feeling of being a game changer, being a winner, being someone who's gonna go out there and change the world. And that is very, very important because their pieces are simple. This is a saying I especially say on my TikTok, but a clothing brand, when it comes to a piece, the piece will either sell itself or the marketing will sell the piece. A good example of the marketing selling the piece is Trickle. Trickle, they don't have complicated designs. Honestly, their designs are usually just a font on a blank or something along the lines of just like simple graphic, but their marketing sells their piece. They sell the idea of being a game changer. They sell the idea of changing the world, of bringing the world together through their garments. That is what Trickle is selling, and you need to understand that if you're not making complicated pieces, you need to shift your marketing into more complex manners. Again, Trickle is a perfect example, and then an exact example of the opposite is No Face Studios right here. Their designs are more intricate. Their designs are more complicated, and they don't make the exact marketing that Trickle does. Their marketing is a lot more luxury, a lot more kind of laid back, and honestly, it's a laid back, but it's still very complicated in the way they do it. You know, this is simple, but again, they had to do a whole lighting setup. They had to do a whole model shoot. Like again, this may look simple, but it's very complicated behind the scenes. But again, the pieces are able to sell themselves. Like these are reversible bombers. If No Face Studios just dropped a flat lay picture of these right here, they would be able to sell it because it's a more complicated garment. Again, with their jeans are very good and baggy with intricate washes, intricate seam work. If they just posted the jeans on their story or just posted the jeans on their feed, they would be able to sell out because again, their pieces are a lot more complicated than what Trickle has going on right here. And you can see they're very good at doing lookbooks and just making their brand feel luxury and professional, like you can see right here. Now, if a clothing brand's content isn't the issue, it is most likely their website. Some brands have great content, but their website is literally garbage, trash, filled with just absolute garbage. Your website is one of the most important factors that contribute to your sales. If you have a hard to navigate website, you're going to get less sales. Distractions such as music, animations, bad colors, less sales. Slow to load equals less sales. If you don't have a size chart, no FAQ, no policies, you will not get as much sales. Guys, you need to understand your website is so important for getting sales. If you have a BS website, you're not going to get sales because people just don't want to navigate your website. Essentially, you want to make your website as easy to navigate as possible. So even a second grader can go on your website and literally buy your clothes. Make it very easy, bro. Just make it very easy. I promise you, the simpler you make your website, the more sales you will get. Your website needs to have every possible thing a customer will most likely ask for or want to get the chances of them converting as high as possible. And now this goes for pretty much any clothing brand. On your website, you want your conversion rate to be over 1%. Anything over a 1% conversion rate is nice. If you have it a little bit below 1%, like maybe like 0.95, then I guess it's passable. If you have a higher ticket product, like maybe like above $100 for your product. But typically, a 1% conversion rate and above is what you want for a clothing brand. Now, I'm gonna give an example of a low converting website. A low converting website would be the enter pages that have animations, the flashing lights, and just please stop using FKX. FKX is a terrible theme for your clothing brand, and it does not lead to good conversions. Another theme I don't like is the Plain Jane one, specifically Plain Jane 1.0. You have all this text over the add to cart button, and this just leads to friction. I don't want my customers having to read a whole book before they're able to get to add to cart. And that's the one thing I don't like about Plain Jane, to be honest, and the fact that it has music as well. So again, quit having the BS websites, quit having the enter pages, quit having the flashing lights and everything, the animations, stop having the music, and you will find getting people to buy from your clothing brand is just way more simpler and easier. Now, this is just a high converting website, not to glaze myself, but this is my own website and I think it's pretty good. Right here, I have reviews. I have reviews right here. I have the price. Everything is very, very easy to navigate. I have tons of product pictures. There's no question of what the product looks like. I provide multiple pictures. I have all the colorways listed right here. Add to cart button is nice and big. I have a very good description. I even notify people that it's a pre-order. And again, on my website as well, I have a size chart. Size chart is so important. I think I said this in my other video, but no one is buying your stuff if you don't have a size chart on your clothing brand. Who is going to buy because they won't know how it fits? You cannot be saying, oh, my clothes, they fit like a Yeezy Gap hoodie. My clothes, they fit slightly cropped. They fit baggy. Nobody cares, bro. I want to know exactly how it fits so I know what size to get and I don't have to worry about returning my product. And lastly, you just want to have a simple FAQ on your website. You will save yourself a lot of emails if you just have something like this. You don't have to worry about your customers emailing you. When is my order going to ship? You don't have to worry about your customers emailing you. You can just have everything right there. The FAQ is super important. And lastly, you want to make sure on your website you are collecting emails and phone numbers. This is super important because again, you want to be able to remarket to these people. You want to be able to hit their phone up, hit their email up and be like, yo, I'm having a sale. Yo, this product is going away soon. You want to cop this now. This will add a sense of FOMO. FOMO is just the fear of missing out. The more FOMO you can bring for your brand, the more people are going to be buying because they're going to be scared. They're going to be like, yo, is this ever going to restock? I don't know if this is ever going to restock. I'm a cop now. So FOMO is really good. And you can use emails and phone numbers to bring that FOMO to your brand. And the last thing I want to talk about is building trust for your brand. Building trust with your audience is so important for getting sales. There have been so many clothing brands that have scammed and ruined it for all the legit brands, and you need to keep this in mind. You need to have reviews on your website. You need to have reviews on your brand page. Get some actual social proof going for your clothing brand. Get people to create videos in your clothing. Share good reviews and testimonials on your ads, emails, social media pages, and have an actual face/personal page people can associate with your brand. Don't try to be anonymously running your brand because people are not really going to be trusting that at the beginning. So these are some examples of my social proof, 5-star, 3-star. One thing I want to discuss is you do not want to delete bad reviews or mid reviews. I could have easily deleted this 3-star review, but I'm not going to because this shows I trust my customers. This shows that I'm a legit brand. I'm not scared of my customers. I'm not willing to delete what they have to say about my brand. And people will trust you a lot more seeing a 3-star review in this batch of 5-star reviews than if it was just a batch of just 5-star reviews. Again, don't delete those reviews. I would only delete the reviews if they have, personal information or they're just talking crazy. But this 3-star review, I'm perfectly fine with leaving up on the site because I feel like it will build a lot more trust in my customer than just having straight 5-star reviews. Now, this is just some more social proof. I posted this on my story. Someone, got their package. They said, thank you. Easy repost. I'm not going to ignore my customer, shouting me out. And the last thing I want to make sure you guys know is make sure your customers are tagging you. A lot of people check this tag tab to make sure the brand is actually shipping out. So make sure if you have customers, encourage them in the email or encourage them on your story to tag you when they get their stuff. But yeah, having your customers tag you when they get their products or tag you in their photo shoots is very good for building trust and social proof. Now, with that being said, these are the actions I want you to take after watching this video. I want you to relook over your designs, try to make actual good designs. This is literally one of the biggest factors to selling your clothing brand. If your clothing brand is not getting sales, it's most likely a design or content issue. Those are the two big things I see people mess up. Relook over your marketing. Make sure you're not spamming the same type of video. Make sure you're not spamming slideshows. Make sure you're not spamming flat lay videos. Make sure you're not spamming just on body videos all the time. Switch things up and see who's winning and try to replicate your content with their content. So try to see what's winning for them and try to do it for yourself and try to make it better. And make sure you're able to be consistently posting while you're having these high quality ideas and videos being made. And also, I want you to clean up your website, make it very simple and easy to navigate so you're able to get as much sales as possible. And also, like I said earlier, build trust with your potential customers. Get all the reviews, get all the social proof, get everything you need to. And if you don't have any of that, at least get influencers in your clothes so they can see that people are actually getting these clothes. People are actually wearing these clothes. Then, the product is actually real. It's not just some dropship low quality product. People are actually receiving this. So this is very good if you don't have any social proof. I'd highly recommend just eating the upfront cost and just getting a bulk in and then just sending it out to influencers so you're able to get that social proof. Now, if you need more help and if you've done over 1K in sales, but you just feel like you're stuck or guessing when it comes to content, paid ads, or just scaling your brand in general, I made a free training video. I break down my exact strategy I used to take my brand to 100K in just 6 months. And now I'm just hoping 10 brand owners do the exact same. You can just click the first link down in the description if you want. After I find 10 clothing brand owners, I'm going to close down the spots. But anyways, thank you guys as always. If you learned something or I opened your eyes, feel free to subscribe. I'm under 1K subscribers. I'm about to hit 1K. Feel free to join the free clothing brand Discord down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And honestly, if you made it this far, comment the word, I don't know, comment the word carrot. I want to confuse people who don't watch to the very end. So if you made it this far, comment the word carrot and I'll really appreciate it. I like seeing people who watch my videos all the way through and actually learn. But like I said, guys, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video and hopefully you learned something and you're able to fix some of the things wrong with your clothing brand. All right. Peace.